We are currently undergoing a period of change as human beings and citizens of the United States of America. We are all affected by what is going on around us, and we are having to change our behaviors to adapt to what's going on around us. And at each step of the way, we may be consciously or unconsciously thinking, are we pioneering our own change, or are we following rules that someone else has laid out for us because they believe that they are better at pioneering our change as a civilization? The change we're going through is similar to the unconscious moving to the conscious, or sleep moving to awakeness. It's also similar to winter to spring, where animals and plants go to sleep in the winter to get away from the low light and the low temperatures, and then they wake up again in the spring when there's more light and higher temperatures. Another cycle that we see coming upon us is that of the 3,600 year cycle, which means that every 3,600 years or so, the Earth goes through a dramatic geological or physiological change, and that is happening now as well. We have a solar cycle where we have every 11 years a grand solar minimum or a grand solar maximum. We just came out of the grand solar minimum. We're about 6 months out of it now, and so it'll be another 11 years before we go back to the grand solar minimum again. But between now and then, we'll have a grand solar maximum where we might expect some other extremes. We also have an 84-year cycle, and the 84-year cycle means that roughly 84 years or so, we have a major sociological crisis, which we struggle to get through, and it ultimately changes us and our species or our citizenship for all time. The biggest change of all, though, is between the Holocene epoch, which started at the origin of man, the Neanderthal, the Cro-Magnon, the caveman, if you will, to the Anthropocene epoch, where man has become totally dependent upon his machines in order to conduct his daily life. For example, most of us have smart cell phones, and most of us would be lost without instant access to our smart cell phones or the internet capability. So how do we adapt as we move from one epoch into another? We will talk about this more in later chapters.